Did I ever tell you guys the story? I told the story a while ago, a long time ago, about my British friend that I had to take to the to get like an STD check. Did I ever tell you guys that? Yeah, he had sex with this girl. And he got like a blowjob from this girl with a tongue ring, and he believes that he got some sort of context, Aethel. Yeah. So I wait. Whoa. Okay, all right. You guys are being weird. All right, listen. No, this was before I was a VTuber. This was before I was a VTuber. This was when I was living in Japan. My buddy had a sexual relation with a woman. He had his penis blown in vaginal sex, vaginal penetration, just classic stuff. And he believes that he contracted some sort of sexually transmitted disease. Worry about a quotation mark friend. What the fuck does that mean, bro? Classic vaginal penetration, consensual vaginal penetration, a very classic move. And it was unprotected. And he believes that he had contracted some sort of sexually transmitted disease doing the penetration. And he did not speak any Japanese. And he was very scared to go to the doctor and get tested because he was having some sort of discharge from the tip of his penis, out of the hole of his penis, which is not normal. If you do not have a penis, we usually do not discharge unless we are excited or urinating. This was an unprompted discharge, a milky substance, not to be confused with semen or sperm. It was a milky, cloudy substance, and I don't know from firsthand experience, it's just what he told me, an opaque substance. Yep. And he wanted me to translate and go to the doctors and tell him, the symptoms, right? So we had to go, but I didn't know the scientific word for penis. Now, I know that word in English, right? I would just say, my penis is itchy, okay? My friend's penis is itchy. But I did not know what the scientific word for penis was. I realized that up until this point, I've been studying Japanese for 3 years. I've been studying Japanese literally 5 hours a day, every day for 3 years. I was N2 level Japanese. I was business level Japanese. I could write business emails. I could converse with just about anyone. And one word that I did not take the time to learn was penis. Now, of course, I can say, oh, chin, okay? Because that's the only word I learned, which basically means like little pee-pee, dick, pee-pee, my peenie. Okay, it's like the cute way of saying penis. So what the fuck? I got to the doctor's office and I was like, oh, I was just having a normal conversation. Because at this point, my Japanese was good enough that like, I don't think about what I'm going to say first. You know what I mean? It just comes out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not thinking about like, oh shit, I got to know all these words. No, I just go have a conversation and I'll explain it. So I go to the doctor and I'm like, oh, my friend's little pee-pee is itchy and there's a discharge coming from it. Oh, my Tomodachi's chin is a little kayui. Ooh, okay. So fucking awkward, man. So goddamn awkward. My little Tomodachi's wee is choto kayui. It was terrible. It was fucking awful. It was fucking awful. Yeah. It was so fucking embarrassing. And that was the day. You had to take the piss test. Did you learn it? No, I never looked it up. I never looked it up, man. What's the word for pee-pee? I still don't know. I never looked it up after that. Wait, is this Owadi? Yeah, this is the Owadi story. Yeah, the British friend was me, man. It was the worst day of my life. I didn't have the confidence to tell you guys. It was the worst fucking day of my life. It was the worst day of my life. It was the worst day of my life. It was the most embarrassing time of my life. So you have to take a piss test. The doctor said there is nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong, but he gave me antibiotics and it was like totally fine. But you have to take a piss test, okay? This was my first. Why British? Just because that was the only friend I had in my little town was either a British guy or an Australian guy, and I couldn't do it to my Aussie friends. I couldn't do it to my Aussie friend, bro. It was the worst time of my life, man. Hello, bro. My chin is choto avunai in it. My fucking chin's little kayui in it. So you have to take a piss test, right? You have to take a piss test. You go to this back room. I was scared, man. I was scared. I was so scared. I'd never had like any scare like that before. Never had any scare like that before. But I think what I did was I scared myself so much because she had like this tongue ring and I'd never like experienced that before. And I got it in my head because I went on Google and I started Googling shit like, oh my God, can I get an STI from a fucking tongue ring? Now it turns out there was nothing wrong. The doctor was like, oh yeah, there's nothing wrong. Like you're totally fine, but we'll give you antibiotic just to be sure. But like nothing came up. But before that, I had to go take a piss test, right? You go pee in a cup. I didn't know what to do afterwards. I'd never had to do this before, let alone do this in Japan. So I peed in a cup. The instructions were not clear. So I brought my piss-filled cup up to the front desk, put it on the counter and said, owari desu. With my stinky gaijin white pig piss sitting in a paper cup on the front desk of this little cute like countryside clinic. Wari desu. And the lady was like, oh, okay, great. And takes it. They do the test, whatever. I go back to the doctor and he's like, yeah, you know, we didn't find anything crazy, but just to be safe, you know, we listened to you. Here's some antibiotics. You should be fine in like a few days. I took the antibiotics. Everything was fine. I think I just got it cooked in my head. It was the worst. It was the worst day of my life. Are you serious, my man? No, this can't be real. It's real, bro. It's real. Those two stories were related. Yeah, truth has come out, guys. You've survived the most cringe thing to have ever existed. It was the worst day of my life.